And
3, live from Independence Mall, this is Eyewitness News.
And force can never be the first answer, but sometimes it's the only answer.
President Clinton issues an unmistakable warning to Saddam Hussein in a war of words that seems to be edging toward a war. Good evening, I'm Trina Robinson.
And I'm Larry Kane. A major diplomatic development tonight in the effort to prevent a U.S. attack on Iraq that could send our men and women into a war situation. Now, the United Nations Secretary General announces he is going to Baghdad in a desperate effort to get UN weapons inspectors complete access and end the crisis. That word comes just a few hours after the president told a Pentagon audience he wants a peaceful settlement, but that all of us must get ready now for military action and for casualties.
Our purpose is clear. We want to seriously diminish the threat posed by Iraq's weapons of mass destruction program.
In Baghdad, Iraqi TV showed Saddam Hussein meeting with members of the Revolutionary Council. And back in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania Senator Arlen Specter said only Congress can authorize acts of war.
I am prepared to support the use of force in Iraq only after all diplomatic efforts have failed and only after a maximum effort has been made to assemble a strong international coalition and only after we have a plan that makes comprehensive sense.
Now, you can read the entire text of the president's address on our website. The address is KYW.CBS3.com.
Another full day of testimony before the grand jury investigating the White House intern scandal. Former Secret Service agent Louis Fox spent 2 hours before the panel. Fox has said he saw the president and Monica Lewinsky go into the Oval Office one afternoon in 1995, but he's not sure if they were alone. After Fox, White House aide and former Clinton assistant Steve Goodwin went in to testify.
It's happened again. Another storm is battering the Jersey Shore tonight, just as the beaches are nursing the wounds of 2 recent poundings. Look at this. This is what it looked like late this afternoon as waves pounded the shore at Avalon. The beach is so eroded already that the beachfront residents aren't seeing sand out their windows. They're seeing water and waves. In Sea Isle City, residents are hoping against hope there won't be any more damage.
All of my decks, all of my dunes, stones, decoys, lobster traps, birdhouses, they're all gone. And none of it's insured.
Shore officials are looking for insurance in the form of a guarantee that the state will lend a hand with beach replenishment efforts.
For more on the storm, let's go to meteorologist Tom Lemaine in the KYW Storm Center.
Tom, what's going on?
Well, Larry, those shore areas are getting a break from this storm because it's not a coastal storm. It is an inland storm, and we're tracking it for you right now on our Storm Center radar. Let's take a look at it. You can see that the precipitation isn't moving a whole lot, and that is simply because the storm isn't moving a whole lot. It's located just, well, actually between tonight and earlier this afternoon. The storm has actually only moved from Illinois into Ohio, and there is where it's centered right now. As a result, it's not a coastal storm. The winds along the coast now are coming in from this direction instead of pushing the water in. But what it is doing as it makes its slow trek toward the northeast, this is a spring-type storm, and as a result, we're getting spring-like weather. Just within the last hour, Havertown in Delaware County reported a thunderstorm, and that's located right here. And that storm system, you can see the line of storms moving in this direction, and anybody in the Montgomery County, eastern Montgomery County, or eastern Bucks County area, as that storm makes its trek in this direction, could see a thunderstorm. They're traveling almost due north, and they have been reported by our crew reporting in Havertown, Delaware County. So it's not a coastal storm, Larry and Trina, but it is an unusual spring-type storm here in the middle of February that is causing thunderstorms. But the good news is it is giving the shore a break. Larry, Trina?
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you so much. A severe snowstorm in Nagano delayed part of the men's freestyle skiing competition at the Winter Olympics. Among the competitors, Britt Swartley of Montgomery County.
Eyewitness News reporter Dawn Stensland is at the Swartley home in Bluebell.
Dreams. He loved sports and, of course, those ski goggles. You've watched him grow up from a special little boy all the way now to the Olympics. What's the feeling? It must be butterflies right now.
Well, I have to say, he is a very modest person, and he has done this for years and years with almost no recognition at all.
His father, Jack Swartley, couldn't be prouder.
It's just phenomenal, knowing how young he was when he started, and the times that he's led World Cups and then fell on the second jump and ended up 27th or whatever. This is just, I can't explain it.
Britt's family is also cheering for his girlfriend, Veronica, who's skiing for Canada. In this home, the American flag waves, and Britt Swartley always rules.
I've already said it. We're proud of you no matter where you finish. Really.
And of course, we found out tonight that Britt came in 5th. I'm here with the Swartley family and Jack Swartley, cousin Cardi, cousin Gaymore, the whole gang. I can see, by the way, why Britt is such a grounded person, because, of course, a good family foundation gives us all success in life. What was your feeling when you found out that your son came in 5th in the entire world, really?
Well, obviously, it is a thrill that he got there. That's the most important thing, that he got there and represented his country and did such a great job. We're also glad to hear, I think Eric won, did he not?
I believe so.
Eric and Britt have been trained together for 14 years, and they're roommates in Nagano right now. And Eric and Britt are like brothers. They really are. So we're happy that American won. Am I disappointed my son lost? Yeah, I'm disappointed he's 5th, but he could have been 12th, so...
But he didn't lose. He's a winner. He went to the Olympics.
That's exactly right, and we're proud no matter where he finished. The whole room is proud. Everybody's proud.
Thank you so much, Jack. It's a pleasure to be in your family's home. A lot of love here, live from Bluebell. Let's end on a cheer for Britt. They've really been cheering in this home.
That's a big group out there.
Back to you.
Congratulations. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you, and we're cheering back here, too. As many of you know, the U.S. women's hockey team won the gold medal in their first appearance in the Olympics.
As Eyewitness News anchor Yuki Washington reports from Nagano, a New Jersey woman got to share a golden moment with the world and her family.
We've been waiting for this a long, long time. Go USA!
Old Glory waving proudly as USA plays Canada in women's hockey for the gold medal. For Chris Bailey of New Brunswick, New Jersey, the stars and stripes have a different and special meaning.
We have a flag with us from Chris's dad's casket that we're going to hand to her to take around the rink with her.
Chris's father passed away 15 years ago.
You know, I'm not here to take her father's place. I'm just here to support her.
And to support Chris's mom, who found it hard not to be emotional. The flag was clutched close to the heart. And getting close to the ice might be a problem later on.
I'm hoping that somebody catapults my body far enough over the edge to give it to her.
When time ran down, the arena went wild.
Chris.
Yeah.
This is Dad's flag.
Okay, thanks, honey.
Okay?
Thank you.
I got it for you.
Thanks, Dad. I knew we'd do it here.
Said before, her father was the one that started her and got her going.
I think it meant a lot to her.
It hasn't really sunk in yet.
In Nagano, Japan, Yuki Washington, Eyewitness News.
And oh, what a night. Well, Yuki isn't live with us tonight because he has the flu. You probably can hear it in his voice. And officials say 50% of the credentialed staff at the Olympics has flu-like symptoms as well. But Yuki will be back with us soon on Eyewitness News at 11 and in the morning beginning at 5:30.
Coming up.
Oprah Winfrey clears one major legal hurdle in the beef lawsuit against her, but it is not over yet.
Plus, can you believe it? A product that can help if you're locked out of your car or just looking for the nearest restaurant. Paul Moriarty and Powell hit the road to test it out.
It's all straight ahead on Eyewitness News.
The far-reaching storm system continues to dump rain, wind, and some wintry precipitation across much of the eastern two-thirds of the United States. One storm. Hello, I'm Dave Schwartz, and welcome to this edition of WeatherScope.
And I'm Mike Sudell. Thanks for tuning in. We'll also bring you up to date on the situation in the west, where California is trying to rebound from the latest round of storminess and heavy rainfall. But first, some nasty weather back east. And we've had some problems tonight with the wind and rain. This is the effects of the storm out on Long Island in the Wantagh area. Wind and rain tonight, cold rain. And the wind has brought down wires and also has toppled some trees. There's also been a few traffic accidents reported, but no serious weather headaches. We'll keep you updated overnight tonight because the storm will be cranking out the wind and also cranking out some snowfall in northern New England. Here's our low now moving up through the Ohio Valley, and that has brought the warm air up ahead of the storm, and so most of you in the Northeast will not see snowfall or frozen precip, but you'll see the rain like we've seen so much of this winter. Officially in Central Park in New York, you've only had a half an inch of snow. That's it, a half an inch of snow so far. I think we've had that much here in Atlanta. There's the big spin bringing the warm air up. Now we will have some kind of a secondary development late tonight or tomorrow, but that's a little too late to hold in that cold air. Tonight, though, enough cold air that you've seen some snow around Albany, back towards southern parts of New Hampshire and Vermont and western Massachusetts. You also get the effects of that wind with all the isobars, lines of equal barometric pressure. Some of you have had to deal with some lakeshore problems around Lake St. Clair near Detroit and Macomb County as that wind is pushing the water across Lake Erie and Lake Ontario up on the beaches. Meanwhile, look at the moisture flowing north. Lightning and thunder tonight. Philadelphia back towards D.C. and Baltimore. Had some heavy rains and some severe weather out around Fredericksburg, an unconfirmed tornado about 5 miles southwest of town. Then you get up into the cold air north of Albany, up towards Glens Falls, over towards Manchester, Montpelier, and that's where you have the highest risk of some frozen precip. In fact, earlier this evening, our Weather Channel crew in Worcester did find some snowfall. It's been hard to find so far this season, but they found it here in Worcester, west of Boston, well west of Boston. Big snowflakes falling early this evening, and as you can see, there was some accumulation, about an inch, but then as Jim Cantori reported and showed us on the air, it changed over to some sleet, freezing rain, and now rain. But watch these roadways. Again, Boston back towards D.C. and back towards Baltimore and Philly, a rain event. Watch out in these areas where you have the darker green because there's that chance of some localized flooding because of all the rain you've seen and more rain tonight. Interior northeast, best chance for snow, especially those higher mountains and as you get away from the coast. But for most of you, it will be rain, a cold rain, as the warm air has funneled up the coast. The cool air is coming in, very unstable air because of the cold air loss. Still some thunder and lightning across parts of the Carolinas. And this cold front is kicking off some showers and thunderstorms too in Florida. In fact, some more rough weather tonight in South Florida. Not expecting the tornadic weather we dealt with a couple of nights ago, even last night and yesterday afternoon up around Orlando. But you can see what that front is doing. Temperature now in Miami is 77, very uncomfortable, and that is helping to fire up the storms. These will move out of the way. It should be a better weather day tomorrow for the beaches in South Florida. Now with more on the western weather, let's check in with Dave Schwartz.
Mike, the storm that dumped heavy rain in Southern California is now pounding areas of Arizona, the desert getting wet. You've been dealing with rain all day. Don't look for any relief in the immediate future. The rain has become a problem on some roadways, causing flooding. Not only was it wet in Phoenix today, but it was chilly. Temperature was holding in the 50s in Phoenix and Tucson, and this is where we like to get away from this kind of weather and expect sunshine. Well, not all the time. This is one of our 2 wet seasons in Arizona because the storm track can settle so far to the south. Then in June and July, the so-called monsoon gets going, where moisture comes in from the south and southeast this way, as opposed to from west to east. This is one of those west to east storms, and we still got rain here in Phoenix and Tucson. It's been snowing up in Payson, Flagstaff, up at the Grand Canyon area, several inches of snow, and even down to 3,400 feet in elevation in Cordes Junction, Arizona, snow has been reported. Low pressure, that's not a heat low, that is a cyclone moving through Arizona, and that will end up at your place in Austin, Texas here in the near future. Here in California, we're getting a break in the action, but just a break. One storm moves in, the other one moves in between weak high pressure. No more snow, but did you hear how much snow fell up there in the mountains north of Los Angeles yesterday? 12 to 16 inches of snow. Now some of our skiers are getting in on some fresh powder here in the White Mountains and the Sacramento Mountains here in New Mexico. Of course, this storm pales in comparison to this one. This one's going to be causing some major problems in the next 24 hours before it finally leaves. And then the next one comes knocking on the door. A very active pattern. We'll have that forecast for tomorrow after this.
But first, it's time for tonight's El Nino Focus, Dave. We've seen over the past few weeks how El Nino has impacted the West, and now areas in the East are feeling the effects. Meteorologist Kevin Rolfe tells us why in tonight's Focus.
The effects of our El Nino winter pattern have certainly increased over the eastern half of the country since Sunday. We've had a 1-2 punch of storms move in from the Gulf of Mexico and across the southeast and eventually into the east. A good example of that is on our water vapor imagery. We can see some deep tropical moisture here coming across Baja California, through Mexico, into Florida, and then wrapping around our parent storm, which is over Tennessee. And this has led to, at the start, some heavy rain across Texas and Louisiana. And then it moves across into Florida with severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. And then we have also had the heavy rain and winds along the middle Atlantic coast. Now, this deep tropical moisture, a feature with El Nino patterns, originates all the way back in the Pacific. We can see it traces all the way back across Hawaii and further south into the deep tropics along the equator. One of the features we have with an El Nino winter is heavy rain along the Gulf Coast, and this deep tropical moisture has come along and certainly given that to us in the last couple of days. And this pattern looks like it will continue at least into the weekend. Now back to you in the studio.
And you can join us every evening for El Nino Focus right here on the Weather Channel. Now, check the forecast with Dave Schwartz. Dave?
Here we go, Mike. I'll tell you, we've had enough rain, haven't we, here in the Northeast and back into Ohio. The Portage River is flooding in Sandusky, Ohio tonight. The rain continues, and it'll just be slow to wind down. And here, the wind, too, a problem. Boston, we're staying in the mid-30s tonight. No problem with icy roads at all. Out here in the Connecticut River Valley and up in Maine, that's where snow and ice is going to be building up. Could there be a day without rain in Atlanta and Charlotte? Tomorrow may be your chance, though there will be some cloud buildups in the afternoon. Showers should slowly leave Dade and Broward County later on tonight. Sunshine, a cool start to New Orleans, but you'll love it by afternoon. Lots of clouds from the Great Lakes back into the northern plains with some light mainly non-frozen precipitation. And then here's our break in the west. But that next storm comes ashore first in Seattle and Portland, and then heads towards San Francisco Wednesday night and Thursday. More rain for California.
Travel problems coming up.